Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. It occurred to me that I had never showed anyone a video of something very basic, and that is how to start a new commander. And I don't mean it in the trivial sense, which is like, oh, you get a commander, you put a skill on the commander, and then you put the commander in a tank. There's a strategy to this that I thought was kind of obvious, but I've been playing the game a long time, so what someone of my experience would say is obvious would come off as genius information to someone who doesn't have the experience. So I thought, you know what, let me show this to people, and if you know it, great, go watch another video. But if you don't know any of this, this would help you out. Even if you're somewhat experienced, you might find some of this to be a little bit helpful in the way that it'll make you more efficient. And in that case, it'd be worth your time. But first, please leave a like for this video. Help spread the news to other people. If you're interested in helping me out further and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. That'll do the job. If you're a subscriber, thanks for that. You guys have been awesome. Please tell your friends. This might help them too. So now I'm going to show you some stuff here. It's really basic. It's logic. That's how I figured this out as opposed to anything else. But well, let's say, and I'm using this Nina commander, which we got from Resolutions. So you have this Nina commander. We also have next to her is Athena. Same story. Free commanders from Resolutions. And also there's the John Garvey free fireman that you got from the operation last week. So the thing is this. Whenever you need to build a new commander for a new tank or a tank, if you're thinking ahead, you don't have anything really necessarily pressing in your mind. You go, but it'd be nice to start a commander so that if I get a new tank, I'll have a new commander. And this is where this will come into help for you. Now, something you would never do. Let's say, I don't know if you have one. It doesn't really matter. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say you have a tier 10 tank, like this one. This is the Iron Arnie. Now, obviously, you're not going to have this unless you bought it. And that's the reason I chose this tank. I bought it because I got it for the fun matches. And I play it from time to time. You know, literally, I average about 3 games a month with this tank. I just don't play tier 10s. But if my friends are like, hey, you want to go play some tier 10 matches? As a, to goof off? And it's like, well, if they did, I'd goof off. And this is one of the tanks I would take. Because it's fun. Now, you wouldn't take that Nina commander I just showed you with her one, not even real skill. She has the quick learner. We'll get to that in a second. You don't put a 1-skill commander in a tier 10 tank. In general, the higher the tier of your tank, say 7, 8, 9, you want to have a higher tier or higher skilled commander. 5, hopefully 6, 7, whatever you have. So you need to be aware that it's beneficial to be working on commanders, bringing them up to 3 or 4 or 5 skills off and on when you don't have a pressing need, so that if you score Ola, you'll get one. Or you'll have one ready to go. And that's the key. You need to anticipate the need. The reality is you're always going to have use for a new, say, 5-skill commander. I have so many of those because when I'm not doing anything specific, I use this sequence to generate 5-skill commanders. And I'm going to show you the secret to do this. So, putting this Nina commander in my Iron Arnie would be stupid, to say the least. Okay? So, when you have a beginner commander, you want to use a beginner tank. Now, I'm going to say that. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody, but I'm just trying to, use this as a linguistic connection. You want a low tier tank and a low tier commander, which is what she is at this point. And as we get higher, we'd like to hopefully maneuver these higher skilled commanders into higher tier tanks. Makes common sense, I would think. Well, to me it did. So what I want to do is I want to use, if I want to build this commander up, the thing I want to do is take advantage of and I say beginner, but a tank that will work well with nothing. And I know this sounds ridiculous. I goofed around accidentally and did it and realized that it's possible. And when I did that, I learned something. And I'm going to show you what I learned. It's not a commonly known fact of the game, but it is a fact. So let's get off of this guy here. Let's go back here. Now let me show you something. There's a good example right there. All right. Now I'm going to show you this random one. This is a Locust. So a Locust is a premium tank. We got this. This is the first premium tank that was ever given. I'm way back from the beta. We got this, I don't know, first anniversary, something. Locust was the first one. It was like, it wasn't that great. Yeah, but back then I wasn't a knowledgeable player, and it didn't occur to me that it's actually an awesome tank in the correct context. But since no one was there to explain the context, which I'm going to explain to you, I sold mine. I had to rebuy it. Okay, whatever. Mistakes were made, okay? One of the ways you get better is realize you made a mistake, and if it comes up in a relevant conversation like this one, I tell you I made a mistake about selling my Locust back then, and I got it back later, but that's okay. So the question you would ask yourself is, gee, why is it a mistake? Well, this is why. It's all about commanders. Now, so if you have a Locust or not, any other tank will work in this context. The test I'm going to tell you to run, it's really basic stuff. You can go to any generic tank. Now, I will say it works best on the lower tiers, a 3 or a 4. A 2 if you have it, and we'll get to that in a second. So, let's take this Locust. Another good one you could use would be a M3 Stuart, for example, or a Panzer 1C is another terrific tank to do this on. And I'll get a Panzer 1C and show you. So this Locust, what's the gun accuracy? We go to the gun. Accuracy on this is .39. Well, guess what? The Locust is essentially a close range shooting gun. .39 is good enough. Now, we'd like to make it better for more accuracy. That's fine. Then I'm going to use I'm on Xbox. You hit a Y button. On PlayStation, you hit triangle. I want to go here and look. What is my reload time? Well, you see where it says on the bottom, primary 37 millimeter. Reload time, 2.15 seconds. That's fine. Here's the secret. The secret is, now, I actually have equipment, which you are going to put equipment of your own choice in there. That's up to you. And this is my consumables. I have those. I can run this tank with no commander, and it will still operate quite well. That's one of the hidden secrets. There are certain tanks that can be run with success. Now, you're not going to be awesome, but you can be successful with no commander. The Locust is one. The Sexton Artillery is one that I tried it on myself just out of curiosity. I did it. Now I'm an advanced player, and advanced artillery, more importantly. As an advanced artillery player, I thought, well, let me take this Sexton and go run this dude. And I'll show you what I mean. It's ridiculous, but awesome. So if you're a skilled artillery guy, so this one, as you can see, what I did this week is I finished off the 5 skill completion of the commander, then traded it off. And actually, those skills went to the Bogatyr. Whoops. Let me show you this. Those skills were put here. Bogatyr. Those are the skills. These 5 skills came from that Sexton Artillery. So what I did is I take my Sexton Artillery, run it through matches, and make it 5 skills. Now, boy, that sounds awfully boring, sir. Well, you're right. It's super boring, except for one thing. We have something that helps you out in this regard. And I'm referring to this. The long haul. The long haul. 75 points, which means you got to finish top 7 experience, win or lose, on your team for 75 battles. So, if I use my commander builder for long haul missions, I am killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and there's another bird you're getting if you use a tank that makes money, like this Sexton Artillery makes money. So I can do long haul missions, I can build my commander, and I can make cash. I can win games too, I mean, if you want to, whatever. Which that would work under certain, like right now, there's a Mother's Day operation going on. It'll qualify for that. That'd be 4 things I'm qualifying for. So sometimes you'll get these other ones. And then there's other stuff here that's for the Emperor business. Technically, it qualifies for this. That's 5. Okay, you see what I'm getting at. So this is nothing more than a long haul beast that, oh, by the way, when I get around to finishing this guy off, and usually if I do 2 long haul sequences, 75 plus 75, I'm going to get 3 or 3.5 commander skills added on to this guy. So I've been doing other things this week, but I normally do this. So I ran the test match in this tank, loaded up with equipment as you see it, and consumables, but no commander. So I was like, well, I'm a top-notch artillery guy. What can I do with no commander? I mean, how big of a deal is it? The reload time was 7.5 minus 10% is 6.75, and then there's another knockoff that comes off of the using of the enhanced rations. So it goes from 6.75, I think it goes to 6.24, something like that. It's 6 seconds and change, okay? With no commander, but equipment and consumables. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I did this. It rolls me up into the map. What map do I get? Bammo, first map out of the gate, Himmelsdorf. And I'm like, really? Okay, I mean, hey, I'm up for a challenge. I have no commander. You shove me on Himmelsdorf, a less than, well, the reputation is that it's a less than friendly artillery map. So that happened. I lucked out. I had a decent team. It's all I needed. I got 5 kills with no commander. Now, I don't get 5 kills with a commander every game. But what that lesson taught me was that, hey, I could use this artillery with, in this case, as you can see here, my commander is pretty simple. That dude has got 1 skill, and it's not even a real skill. I call it a non-combat skill. So right now, this tank has 0 combat skills. And what I would do is take this one, run matches, usually anywhere from 6 to 10 matches, I'll have another skill, which will be reload. And after that, I can put the 3rd skill, which I would earn in another, say, about 20 matches, ballpark, give or take a little, would be Born Leader, which will also chop down the reload. That would give me, quick learner plus 2 combat skills. Then when I make the next one, I can add on the aim, which is the steady aim, 10% accuracy, and to max the accuracy of the tank. So it doesn't take that long. Literally, for me, I'll have the 4th skill on there and be partially towards the 5th by the time I finish both long hauls. So I'm going to get those 2 cards, and I'm doing this, and I'm working on this the whole time. Now, there are some other great tanks where you can do this as well, and I'm going to show you. I wanted to show you that artillery one just as a special case. Some great tanks you can use, and the reason these are great is, now that artillery I showed you, that one costs $12.50 in the store. Whoops, went too far to the left there. So I forgot. Well, actually, let me just go ahead and find it for you here. There we go. T2 Light. The T2 Light, same story. Let's look at the gun. Gun accuracy should be, what, .47. It's not really good. It's okay. Again, you're pretty much a point-blank killer of artillery or other light tanks. You can live with it. Not the greatest tank in the world, but its speed, look. Oh, well. Now that is, yeah, no commander. Look at this guy. This tank, the speed is 87. And it's got a point-blank shooting gun. It's not good for anything else, really, but the T2 Light is one you can get for free. I have videos that show you how to get it. I posted those like last week. So this one is awesome because you can get this premium for free if you don't have premium tanks or don't have the amount of gold you need to buy another premium tank. So T2 Light, you can do this same thing. You can run this literally with no commander. If you run a tank with no commander, what will happen is that whatever commander skills earned in the battle, you shove a commander in after the fact, it'll automatically transfer the stored commander skills, bam, right on the commander you shove in there. All right. You can do this on, like I showed you, the Locust, M5 Stuart. That's a tier 4. You can do it on that one because look at this. Gun accuracy, 39. There's no commander in here. What's the reload? 1.6 seconds. Yeah, I think I can live with that. This tank is with equipment and consumables. You can run this and win games. You're not going to be an MVP, probably. You might, but it's good enough to be successful as you build a low-grade commander and you run these matches for as long as it's going to take you to get wherever you need to go. I'll show you just a couple of more. Now, of course, since I showed you the T2 Light, another great one, and literally I've done this test as well. All right, come on. Well, and I mentioned there's one right here. This one I've done this test. Panzer 38H with no commander will still win games. It's a little bit less successful, and but as long as you have consumables and equipment, you're good. You can still win matches in the 38H, building commander skills. The advantage of the 38H, you get 50% commander bonus. So if all you had was one of these regular 1-star commanders like Nina, it'll go faster in this tank because the tank is a 50% bonus. Now, since last week, you had the operation to earn a 3-star. You shove a 3-star in the 38H. Like this one, this is the guy I got from the operation. I go, I'm just going to shove him in there, and he's going to be my training commander. All right. See, I put the trainer sticker on here. Cautioned, crew trainer. So I'm going to use him as the official crew trainer commander on this Panzer 38H. So he's a 30% commander. And the reason, well, okay, in the other tank, I have the quick learner, that's 10%. So it turns him from a 30% to a 40% commander. And then on the tank itself, in the consumables right here, you have the rations. So you have the rations, and that makes the tank from 50% bonus to 60% bonus. So you have a 60% tank and a 40% commander. That's 100% bonus. So this is why when you're building a new commander, it's best if you have a 3-star commander sitting in the 38H. Remember, last week I gave you the information how to get this for free. If you haven't gotten it, go and get this tank. Because when you're starting a brand new tank, this is the tank to start it in, or one of the best ones. You can do it in many different tanks. You can do it, for example, in Christmas we got the Astron Rex, 50% bonus, but it's a tier 8 medium, and if you have a 1-star commander in there, you're not going to do that well. And those matches are tougher, and it's going to operate at a substantially less efficient manner. So we want to take 1-star commanders or 1-skill commanders and shove them in the low grades, the 2s, the 3s, and in some cases a 4. I don't want to put a one slot commander in a 5, 6, or higher. You're not going to get the results you need. So that's the thing. You want to pair your low skill commanders with lower tier tanks and use the combinations like I'm showing you. Panzer 1C, if you maybe you enjoy playing light tanks, which I do myself. This tank can win with no commander. Literally, it can win, and it can be very effective with no commander. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to be an MVP, but you can do some business with a Panzer 1C with no commander if you have equipment and consumables. So these tanks, and there's many more you could use. That's not really the point. You have to go look yourself. Like I said, go check your gun accuracy. Forgot to do it. Check the gun accuracy. Now this one has a commander, etc. The accuracy on this one, 0.36 is good, but it's going to be less, like 0.42 or 0.40, whatever it is. And you want to check that reload. Now it's a burst fire gun, so the 3 seconds is actually a very fast reload for a burst fire. So Panzer 1C is one of the tanks you can use with no commander and win matches. If you're not sure, I mean, I could say go try it, but there's no reason. Just take your 1-slot commander, like the Nina that I was showing you, for example. Here. Shove this in any tank that you're considering and see what it's like. I'm just giving you examples from my own personal history that have worked for me. Now, I do artillery because even with a low-grade commander, my scoring is way higher than in other tanks with only 1 skill on the commander. So that's for me personally. I'm going to get the closest scoring. Like I said, I killed 5 guys in artillery on a non-artillery map because I'm an advanced artillery player. But that's me. Okay, that's one of my special skills. Don't try to copy that. Do what works for you. If you're a sniper, you can do this in tier 3 snipers. You can, use any of the tier 3 tank destroyers that'll work great, like Su-76I if you have it, a premium tank. The UE-57 French Tech Tree tier 3 sniper. FCM Pack 40 tier 3 premium tank. The German Marder 2 3 is pretty good as well. Not super great, but you could do it on that. So any of those sniper tanks, and there's probably others you could do. I haven't tested them because I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I'm giving you the template that you can understand and then put for your own abilities. If you're a light tank player, or if you're a really good medium tank player, there's medium tanks you can do this on. I haven't done this test because I'm not that big on the medium tank. I already have mine. I don't care about a tier 3 or 4 medium or heavy tank that I can do this on, which I'm sure you could do. It's just that I have gold standard results already in light tanks, artillery, or snipers. So I have no incentive to go and find a medium or a heavy tank. But you can do this for sure. I just haven't done it. So I'm giving you the idea. How you build your commanders will be infinitely more efficient if you tailor your plan with what I've shown you here today to your own skills. Like I said, if you're a medium tank player, maybe you got a Panzer 3J, which is a great medium tank. And you can make that work. That would be awesome. If you had a heavy tank that works for you and everybody's different, that would be fantastic as well. I mean, you don't want to go too far up. You don't want to be using like a Panther or a Tiger as a one commander. Actually, with a Tiger, you could get away with it. I actually did that. Citadel Tiger and Tiger 217. I actually tested those with no commanders. I remember that now. And they were great. I was like, oh, dang, dude, these tanks are good. Okay, so yes, correction on that one. I tested the Citadel Tiger Tier 6 and the Tiger 217 Tier 6. Now, it's going to go longer. As your tiers of your tanks increase, your matches take longer and longer and longer. And when you have a low-end commander, just like long hauls, a Tier 2 T2 Light or Tier 2 38H is awesome because the matches are over sooner. So take the info I've given to you here, run it through your own brain and figure out what's going to work the best for you so that, objectively, I would never take this Nina character and shove her in the tank by herself. I would use a 3-star. All you need is one 3-star. Do it, like if we go back, let me just show you again. Let's say I'm a brand new player, played like a month, but I got this commander in the operation for free, and I saw my video and got that free Panzer 38H. Dude, I'm golden. I've got everything I need to make as many commanders as I want. I have a 3-star commander in a 50% commander bonus tank, Jackpot City. This dude is set up, and it will give you straight out of the gate. After that red stripe bonus is gone, every game, 100% bonus, 100% bonus. So if I make 2,000 commander points, it's 4,000 because it's going to give me a double. Every day, every game is a daily double, essentially, in this. Now, the first one, you're going to get double that. It's a times 4, really. So the first one, if I have a good game in a Panzer 38H with a commander, I can get 8,000 or 10,000 on the first win. After that, 4,000 to 6,000, depending on my performance. As you're better, it gets higher. If you don't have a game that's a successful, well, it might be 2,500. Okay, but 2,500 in a Panzer 38H is a low-end commander score for a 3-star commander. That's how powerful this tank is. So all I need is a 3-star commander in a 38H, and I'm jackpotting commanders at a nasty rate, doing the long-haul missions or goofing off. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Find a way to make it not boring. If you do that, you're totally golden. But if you're playing boring, stupid missions, and some people are like, oh, I hate doing long-haul missions. I'm like, don't do long-haul missions. Do something fun. Play the tank you're good at, where you have fun, and, if you score top 7, that's a long haul. Big deal. It's not that complicated. You don't have to pound them out. Now, I pound those out sometimes. I haven't been doing it this week just because I'm mixing it up and keeping it fun. I've been working on some other higher tier tanks, just, doing whatever I feel like doing. Nothing is pressing. So I did a little bit. I finished off 2 commanders in long hauls. I'm actually not finished with my long hauls yet, but I'm getting close. So I knocked off 2 commanders that were partially done, but one of them was a higher commander. I put a 7th skill on him, so that took longer. So it's like, mix it up. Don't do the same thing. You're not going to be doing this over and over and over and over. Make it fun. Play things you enjoy. If you like sniper tanks, play those. If you're any decent at all in a sniper tank, you can get top 7 long haul. Doesn't matter what tier it is. One of my friends, Top, he's really good at Cold War. So I always play Cold War with him because I'm getting, good scores in those games, okay? We're a terrific pair. But he is kicking butt, and he does his long hauls primarily, most of them, with Cold War tanks. And then if he gets short near the end, then he'll pound out 20, 25 matches in World War II at low tier just to finish off the job. So figure out a way, make it fun for you. I just wanted to show you the way to consistently build yourself new commanders without going and losing 10 games in a row, because that's not fun. If you're playing a reasonable tank that can score at tier 2, 3, or 4, you're in good shape. Oh, you might score a little bit less, or you might lose a little bit more than you would normally lose because you're using a weaker commander, but that's a temporary thing. It's going to, end as your commander becomes stronger and stronger. And so this gives you a way to do this to increase your stash of commanders. I have a bunch of them. I'm going to show you this before we quit. Just run through. Look on the right-hand side. Look at all these guys that you see. Well, I just go straight across. Wow, that's terrible. Oh, there we go. 5s. You see how many 5s and 6s and 7s and 5 and 6 and 9. And I'm just going straight across the top line, just randomly. That's a 2. That's a 7. 8. Another 1. A 6. A 6. 5. A 1. A 1. All these guys are built at some point off of long hauls. An 8. A 7. A 1. A 1. Another 8. Okay? A lot of you guys don't have 8 skill commanders or 9 skill commanders or 7s. It doesn't really matter. You just do what you do. Oops, let's not go here, and let's go again. This is the second layer, and just look at 5s and more, because that's what I do. I build 5s and then go and start another one. And if I need to, I'll work on a commander to add a 6th skill. So you see there's tons of these guys. So I'm doing this every week instead of just going, man, I sure don't have any commanders, and I got like 10 tanks that need good commanders. Well, what are you going to do? You don't really want to have 10 tanks that don't have a good commander. Now, of course, you could just swap a commander from tank to tank. But if you're using tech trees, it gets expensive because it's 9,000 silver for every time you do that. In a premium, you can swap a premium American commander to an American tank for nothing. Same thing, German to German, French to French, etc. So, I'm always in the background working on building commanders so that I never have a problem where I have tanks with no commanders available, because every good commander is in another tank, and it just gets kind of bogus. So it's like, just a little bit. I don't want to go berserk, but it's nice to just go, let me just pick up this tiger, boom, and go. And go, oh, I gotta find a commander. And then 3 minutes later, they're like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, okay, tiger, let's go. In fact, let's just go. Let's just go find a tiger and see. I should be ready to go. Boy, I'll look like an idiot if I go through all this whole thing and I don't have a tiger that's ready to go with the commander. But I'm willing to take that risk. Okay, that one doesn't have it in there. He's in another one. There's one right there. Bammo. 9-slot commander tiger ready to go. Yeah, I'm good. There's another one. He's only got 6 in my hammer. Whatever. Tiger 131, no commander. So, I played Icebreaker yesterday, so I know he's loaded. So, right there, if I felt like I really was, want to use a specific tiger that doesn't have one, I can just pop it from one to the other. No big deal. But I'm ready to go. I can be done in 5 seconds. It's just like, bingo, hit the button. We're ready to go. So that's the thing that I do, is to set myself up for this kind of success. So hopefully you guys find this useful, because you're going to be needing commanders constantly. So when you're doing, if you're going to work on long haul missions, kill 2, 3, 4, 5 birds at one time. Make them multi-functional. Like I said, this week you have multiple things you can do. Everything counts towards Warhammer. You got Mother's Day emblems that it counts towards. You got long haul. You got making money. It's just sick. You know, it's just really good. So hopefully this helped you out. I'm not going to go any further. I think this is enough. So I hope you learned something, and maybe this will help you be more efficient with your commander creation as you build those. So please leave a like. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell your friends so they can do the same. Thanks for watching the video. I hope this helped you out a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one.